Alrighty guys, we're back for Quintorius Burn, and this is a Lost Caverns of Ixalan Standard brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's go over the deck, then hop right into some ranked. Rocking Quintorius Kand, of course. It's a 5 mana, 4 loyalty, legendary planeswalker with a passive ability here. Whenever you cast a spell from exile, Quintorius Kand deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life as well. Pretty good, man, especially since its -3 is just Discover 4. Nice. A bunch of great stuff to discover in here on that -3 too. So it's got a +1 where you just generate some 3/2 red-white spirit creature tokens. Beautiful. It's got that -6 where you exile any number of target cards from your graveyard. Then you add a red source for each card exiled this way. You may play those cards this turn. Not half bad, guys. It really isn't. All 4 of them going to go the extra mile in here. Of course, called it Quintorius Burn for a reason, right? So the -3, what could we hit? Check this out. Couple Urabrasks making the cut. Heck yeah, dude. 4 mana, 4/4, first strike. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, Urabrask deals 1 damage to target opponent. And then you add a red source as well. Every time we've played with Urabrask, he's been excellent, dude. Kind of an MVP. Well, honestly, every time we've played with Urabrask, he's been the build around too, so that's probably why he was the MVP in those builds, but still, pretty solid ability overall. First strike goes the extra mile too, so that's good. Has a bottom ability. For 1 red mana, exile Urabrask, then return it to the battlefield transformed under its owner's control. Activate only as a sorcery and only if you cast 3 or more instant and or sorcery spells this turn. I don't think that'll be too hard to do, actually. Just 3? That's it? Okay. And then of course on your third one that you cast, you're still adding a red source anyway, so it's like almost activating the ability for free, which is really cool. It flips into the Great Work. Chapter 1 here deals 3 damage to target opponent in each creature they control. Chapter 2, create 3 treasure tokens. Chapter 3, until end of turn, you may cast instant and sorcery spells from any graveyard. If a spell cast this way would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead, then you exile the Great Work and return it as Urabrask. Excellent card, dude, huh? Another great one to hit on that -3 Quintorius is actually Ojer, Axonil, Deepest Might, 4 mana, 4/4, trample. If a red source you control would deal an amount of non-combat damage less than Ojer Axonil's power to an opponent, that source deals damage equal to Ojer Axonil's power instead. When Ojer Axonil dies, you return it to the battlefield tap transformed as Temple of Power, which is a land. You can tap it for a red source. And for 2 and a red, you can tap it, transform Temple of Power. Activate only if red sources you controlled dealt 4 or more non-combat damage this turn, and only as a sorcery. Honestly, flipping this back into Ojer Axonil doesn't sound that difficult in a deck like this at all. So we have other cards similar to Ojer that helps us just do more damage with all of our stuff anyways, like Mechanized Warfare making the cut as a 2 of actually. So red or artifact source you control would deal damage to an opponent, a permanent an opponent controls. It deals that much damage +1 instead. Which actually reminds me, guys, this is important, right? Because I made this mistake in the past, even though I know what Ojer says, it's still like easy to mix up sometimes. It does specifically say to an opponent on Ojer, not the permanents that your opponent controls. And then for Mechanized Warfare, it also includes the permanents your opponent controls. That is definitely noteworthy. Another thing, if you have both of these on the board, right? I believe how this works, and I don't think I have any proof of this, but we had a discussion in the comments before about how this ordering works. But I believe the opponent gets to choose the order that these go in. So for example, if you have like Lightning Strike, which of course in this build we have 4 of them, right? And you have Mechanized Warfare and an Ojer on the board, the opponent chooses the order. So the Lightning Strike, they could go ahead and choose Mechanized Warfare first, right? So they go +1, so Lightning Strike's doing 4, and then they can choose the Ojer to activate after that, which so the Lightning Strike would still just be doing 4 then. Does that make sense? I think that's how it works. Again, I have no proof of that. I just thought I'd bring that up, and if I'm wrong, definitely let me know in the comments too. So we have pretty neat burn spells in here. Like a single flick a coin could go a long way when we have cards like Ojer Axonil in here, right? So 3 mana, instant speed, deals 1 damage to any target, create a treasure token, and then draw a card. So it replaces itself too, it ramps you. And, you know, it counts as just a burn spell, which is going to be really good. Of course, the 4 lightning strikes, 4 play with fires as well. Couple End the Festivities too. You never know when you're going to have to wipe the board. And I'll tell you what, when you do have that Mechanized Warfare on the board, then End the Festivities is really good, huh? We have ways to see more of our burn spells off the top, like Wrenn's Resolve. Also, if you cast anything from exile off the Wrenn's Resolve, then of course Quintorius is burning the opponent's face like that too. So, guys, all this reminds me, I forgot to bring this up, and I even put 2 things up here. This was multiple suggestions over, like, ever since Quintorius Kand came out. So thank you so much for all the suggestions, everybody. Hopefully I put together something fun enough for you guys. So we also have Heartflame Duelist in here. Check this one out. 2 mana, 3/1, instant and sorcery spells you control have a lifelink. Oh my. This is going to have a huge target on its back. For sure, right? Because, like, if you're up against mono red and you drop this, they're like, well, that's gonna die. They don't play with fire your face. Heartflame Duelist is gonna die instead, right? So Heartflame slash is the adventure side here. 2 in a red, instant speed adventure, 3 damage to any target. Nice. Also, we have Trumpeting Carnosaur here as a 2/2 on the top end, which we can kind of put in the 3 mana spot for now too, because it has that 2 in a red ability. You discard it, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker, just acting as more removal. Sounds good to me, man. Any of these burn decks, the burn decks usually surprise me a little bit as how good they actually can be. And that's probably because all of our burn spells, all of our main win conditions also act as removal too. And since I tend to not play with as much removal as I should, when the whole deck is just removal, all of a sudden I'm like, hey, this is actually pretty good. So yeah, Trumpeting Carnosaur definitely going to be a good one. Outside of using the bottom ability, 6 mana, 7/6 trample, that Discovers 5 is going to be really good because, of course, the Discover works with the Quintorius Kand's passive as well. And then also, we have Virtue of Courage here as a 2/of on the top end, which we have an adventure side here, instant speed, 2 damage, any target, beautiful. But then the enchantment side, whenever a source you control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you may exile that many cards from the top of your library. You may play those cards this turn. It might seem silly only having 2 of these in here. Maybe we talk about having more of these in the final thoughts. Not really sure though right now. What ends up happening though too is with the adventure, it does say you may cast this as an adventure. After you do exile it, you may then cast that permanent spell later from exile. So of course, when you're casting it from exile, Quintorius Kand's top ability also burning the opponent's face. So okay, the dual land, opting for all the rare dual lands, including all 4 Restless Bivouacs, hopefully not slowing us down too much. Battlefield Forge, hopefully not dealing too much damage to us. Heavily leaning towards the red mana here. Got a Crucible, got a Seed of the Empire, so even more removal with Seed of the Empire, huh? Yeah, the deck is heavily leaning towards red. Realistically, just splashing the white for the Quintorius Kand and the Heartflame Duelist, and even if you don't have the white for the Duelist, then at the very least, just another burn spell on the adventure side. So that is absolutely sick. Okay, honorable mentions, huh? Did a quick look over here. I think I actually went over everything already. So we have a Tectonic Hazard. Wanted to bring this up because it's just like a worst End the Festivities, unfortunately. So it deals 1 damage to each opponent and each creature they control. End the Festivities also hits planeswalkers too. And they're both sorcery speed. But either way, I wanted to bring up that card. Bloodfeather Phoenix, this is just looking for a home. I still think it's really good. I do. I like maybe a 1/of in here. Maybe that could be really cool, right? What about Bloodthirsty Adversary? Reckless Impulse is the exact same card as Wren's Resolve. Just wanted to bring that up. Hey, maybe we want 5 of these abilities in this deck instead. Maybe 1 Reckless Impulse could slot in and be completely fine. We also have other really cool 4-drops that we could have picked outside of the Ojer and the Urabrask. Like Imodane the Pyro Hammer ends up being a little bit more janky than we would like, unfortunately. And Soltham could have made the cut too. That could have been really sick. Quintorius Lore Master. One day you'll be in one of my builds. I don't think I've built with Lore Master yet. But honestly, since it's a Quintorius deck, maybe I should have put one of these in just for fun, right? I think it's like a full build around card though. All right, guys, enough rambling, huh? Let's go ahead, take this into some ranked and see how we do. All right, guys, we'll see if we can get right into that first game here. In the meantime, what am I expecting? It's like I said for like my last couple burn videos, I never know what to expect with burn, man. It actually might be really good. I like I said while going over the deck too, like everything in the deck is your win condition and your removal. And so like, since I tend to not play with enough removal, like it actually feels great when I play with burn, you know what I mean? No, I liked my hand, opponent. Why? I get asked sometimes, why do I keep these in? Well, test hands, right? We don't get too many hands per video. I actually really like this. Always feel free to skip ahead. Down at the bottom of the video, we do have chapters, and in the description, there are timestamps as well. And when I remember, I go ahead and put early concede or whatever. Yeah, no, I like this because we had our turn 1, Restless Bivouac, right? Turn 2, we could go right into that Wrenn's Resolve, try to find land off of that too. We do have a decent amount of land in here as well, so I think we're going to find it. Wait, I should have 25 land in here. Well, if it doesn't feel like 25 in the next couple games, I'll go check. Because anything less than 25 might be pretty greedy when we have a big top end and a lot of 3s to run, you know what I mean? A lot of 3 mana things to do. Okay, nice. Opponent goes first. I better keep the hand before they concede. You know what I mean? Yep, I'm not going to keep the Play with Fire open. Maybe we would have if they played like a Monastery Swiftspear or something. Ooh, what do they want? What do they want here? End the Festivities, maybe? They grab End the Festivities. It feels a lot worse for us to go Play with Fire to the bat. Okay, so, because now we have End the Festivities, get the Play with Fire back, right? So that makes sense to me. To do it that way. But maybe we just get the Heartflame Duelist down, see if it dies. Let them keep the bat for the turn. Okay, you know what? I'm going for it. Not even going to go for the adventure side. Just get the creature on the board, see if we can get some life gain on it. Huge, huge target on his back, dude. Go for the swing. Gonna be Preacher. Hey, Heartflame Duelist surviving the turn. Hey, there's all our land, huh? There's our 25 land. Right. So if we go, we will. That's a good trade for us, isn't it? If I go End the Festivities, get Play with Fire back to hand. I guess we don't have 3, but like this is a good trade for us. So I think they end up taking the 2 here. A 3, jeez. Ooh, I don't mind this. Do you guys? Go ahead. Get this out of hand too so they can't grab it with the Deep Cavern Bat. And we actually gain 2 before the death of our Duelist as well. I don't mind that. Decadent Dragon, huh? Ooh, there's probably a lot of great stuff they could hit from us, honestly. Power up Bivouac, swing. Heartflame Duelist is good too. Maybe we just keep our burn open for the turn. Keeping burn open. Maybe we have a good target for the Play with Fire. Crucible's a thing too. Okay, if we keep our burn open, we won't get anything off the top for Virtue. I'm gonna say Greed is the answer and swing with that Restless Bivouac. How do you guys feel about that? We start the counters rolling on Bivouac too. They're tapped out, so it wasn't gonna die that turn. And keeping the burn in hand means next turn on turn 5, we get Virtue down. Maybe we start seeing more off the top that way. Okay, so we could take out the Lord Skitter. More land. I guess it's not terrible to see land right now. If we see, again, same concept. Like, we could go Heartflame. Take out the Lord Skitter, play the Heartflame, or we just let them keep the Lord Skitter for a turn. That's fine. Let's get the Virtue down. Because now if we start seeing a bunch off the top just by burning the opponent's face, GG opponent, wow. I don't blame that. I don't blame them. They weren't seeing land, right? But felt good. That felt great. we saw a lot of land. You can borrow some land from us, opponent, if you want to keep playing. I'll pass you this mountain. I'll keep the ball rolling for a little bit. Yeah, no fourth for their Decadent. It's going to be an uphill battle. I don't blame them for the concede. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, man. Sometimes Magic the Gathering. I know that feeling for sure, so. That's good. Felt good. The draws felt fine. Yeah. Yeah. Good stuff, man. I really would have loved to play out that first hand, too. See if we drew, like, our third land in time and everything. Okay. Right. Sure. Yeah, okay. We go first, too, so yeah, we'll give it a shot. As long as we see our fourth mana, we have really good creatures to play on turn 4, so. Okay, I'll get the Battlefield Forge down, I suppose. Triple Lightning Strike. What are we hitting? That's worth it, I'd say. Probably, right? It's a good creature. This is a 2-mana card for a 2-mana card. Although they do get the blood token from it. Alright. Wrenn's Resolve is not bad. See if we find land. We do find land. And then Heartflame Duelist is probably the play over something else then, right? Just make sure we get as much value off of the resolve as possible. Oh, and they're giving us some value there too. And that's really good, man. Taking out that Gix. So land off the top, Quintorius? Yeah, dude. Oh, buddy. Ooh, Appraiser. What did they discover? Cut down, goes to hand. Wrenn's Resolve. Find a land, right? Or we just... They're probably sitting on, like, free go for the throats at this point. So what we play matters, so it's probably Ojer then. For when they remove it, we're ramping into Quintorius. Right? And keeping the Heartflame Duelist in exile for when Quintorius actually lands. On human. Dude, Rakdos humans? Is that what's happening right now? Another Appraiser. Wow, Preacher of the Schism. What a great hit, dude. Wow. And they can cycle out the cut down if they think they're not going to be using it. I mean, there might be something else in hand too. Guys, Ojer's alive right now. I don't even know where to begin. Ojer's alive, dude. So we don't have Quintorius, unfortunately. I guess we see what we see on the Wrenn's Resolve. Instead of getting like Urabrask down, the same concept. If they remove it right away, that's not great for us. Another Ojer, but we did find our third. Maybe Mechanized Warfare? Heartflame Duelist? Take out the... We could go Lightning Strike, take out the Preacher. Okay, I'm gonna go Mechanized Warfare. This is gonna be a great test game. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the opponent gets to choose the order that all this happens in. I'm scared of the opponent's Rakdos build. Vampire, Phyrexian Praetor. So they called human on Cavern just for... This is a vampire, and that's a bat. So it's not Rakdos humans. Oh, Quintorius. Well, we can burn the Deep Cavern bat away, but like still not being able to play. Oh, they actually just grab one of our lightning strikes. So Quintorius might still be able to hit something spicy. And the Festivities would be wild. Swing with the Preacher. They get a 1/1. They get to draw a card. Why? Because our life was tied? Is that why? I think so. We could accept this trade. Play the second Ojer next turn. A little bit of ramp. I'm going to just take the 2. They do get a lot of value from the Preacher of the Schism. 1, 2. If they choose the order, it's only going to be 4. I don't think that's what we want to do. So we're just going to draw. More land, okay. Okay. it's gonna be Quintorius for sure. We have one mountain open. Let's do this, dude. Let's see what we see. Something good. Come on. Wrenn's Resolve. All right. This is gonna be 4 damage to their face. 2 mountains. Well, this is awkward. Man, the opponent has a terrific board state. This Ojer's gone. If we keep a blocker back, maybe we could start the trade. And we're going to need that lifelink on the Duelist, I think, soon. Quintorius is gone. Although, Wrenn's Resolve wasn't a bad hit at all. The big problem there, of course, was we spent 5 of our mana to actually get Quintorius onto the board. Ah, man, End the Festivities would be so good. We'd wipe most of their board, guys. We'd wipe all of it, because we'd get that other Lightning Strike back, too. We'd just wipe all their board with an End the Festivities. Oh, yeah, so they're flying in the air. Looks like they might be keeping Shieldred back. That's a little suspicious over there. Okay, so they're back up to 24 because Shieldred pairing with the Preacher is really good. With 3 mana, I think they want us to trade into this, right? Or they want us to block a Praiser. You know what? I'll risk it. I'll risk that block. Yeah, Quintorius is out. Ojer's down to a 4-1. Nice. Risking that block actually worked really nicely for us. Draw down to 11. Heartflame Duelist. Okay. All right, so first of all, we play one of the mountains over here. So Urabrask isn't bad. It is 1 damage to target opponent, which ends up being 4. Is that what we do? Do we just like spam the opponent's face with as much as possible? We'll have 3 open. Actually, it's just like, it's really not enough, is it? It really isn't. Heartflame. Everything's very, very expensive, but I want to gain life too. Everything's too greedy. So we could go Lightning Strike the bat, and then we gain 1 mana. And then we can go Lightning Strike the opponent's face. Or we could save this Lightning Strike, play the Heartflame. If we played Heartflame first, we wouldn't have the open mana. So I suppose this is actually a little better, right? Than just poking as much through to the opponent's face as possible, because we're only going to have 1 mana after the other Lightning Strike, too. Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll see. Anyone's game, I'd say, but I think this is leaning towards the opponent right now for sure. They have a wild board state. The Preacher's getting through at like every turn anyways. Was there a more explosive way through with the Urabrask? I don't think so. All 3 of these cards are just like, they want to prioritize removing all of them. They don't know we have the other Heartflame Duelist. And that doesn't do anything because they don't have a blood token. Yeah, oopsie-daisies. That's understandable, opponent. Happens to the best of us. That might mean they don't have removal in hand, too. Which could be great for us. Yeah, they lost a little bit of value there, for sure. Wing, they draw, they gain. Really good, man. That's really good. We got to get rid of it, but our board state's like excellent. Excellent. Really stocked up right now. No. Opponent. I really want to play that out. I'm so sad now. Aw, man. So again, we had proof that game, right? That it was only doing 4. I think so. I guess I wasn't paying too much attention to their life total going down. But when you have Mechanized Warfare with the Ojer, they choose the order, and so like it's always like the least amount of damage possible. The Mechanized Warfare adds first, and then the Ojer happens. I think we had proof that game. I'm pretty sure, at least. That's one I'll go back and rewatch maybe and actually watch the life total go down. man, I don't know. I guess they conceded because they lost their Blood Tithe Harvester maybe, and like you know they made an oopsie daisies, but like I still feel like that could have been anyone's game. I guess if they didn't have removal for the lifelink, they figured we were going to start burning their face for a lot and gaining a lot of life back. But even then, I don't know, man. I think that was anyone's game because they were stacked. Okay, no white source. See how many white sources are in the mana base? 13, right? Over half. Is this a mulligan, guys? Opponent goes first. It's pretty slow. If we're up against like mono red or something, we're just gonna get completely wrecked before we even get the Heartflame Slash. Of course, we could draw into some goodies. Could draw into the white source. We don't have it though. That's the problem. Okay, I'll mulligan. I'll mulligan since they go first. Okay, interesting. I'll ditch a mountain, I suppose, right? We'll see if the End the Festivities... Like, the End the Festivities would have been so good in that last game, man. Okay, it might be good against potentially Selesnya Toxic, although Crawling Chorus is really good for them. Okay, Play with Fire open. See what they do with their second mana. Because obviously we want to hit, like, Skrelv when it comes time to, so End the Festivities is potentially huge. They attempt to start the Toxic Ball, and I'm going to start our removal. They get a 1/1 in return. This 1/1 can't block and will eventually be removed by End the Festivities. End the Festivities does not hit Rot Priest, unfortunately, guys. We're probably going to opt for Lightning Strike, which we're going to get an extra Toxic for there, too. Okay. Yeah, our target spells in a Rot Priest build is really bad. If a second Rot Priest lands, like, we're in trouble, dude. Alright, Lightning Strike the Rot Priest. We're still getting 2 poison here. Might be Wrenn's Resolve next turn. Okay, got 2. Mechanized Warfare, dude. Let's go. Is it gonna get countered? Oh, okay, Charge of the Mites. Oh, that's actually scary. That's really scary, man. They dropped the GGs. Swing for 3. 5 poison. They drop Experimental Augury. 6 poison. Yeah. Yeah, I guess we're in trouble, but like, I mean, we're not out yet, opponent, are we? And the Festivities. That's one way to do it. We have another one in hand, too. That doesn't have haste, so it isn't swinging. Annex Sentry not hitting anything. Lightning Strike does take care of it, but is probably just going to be without mana. And the Festivities cleans up 2 of these. They're generating another with the Skrelv's Hive, Mechanized Warfare. So it's going to be Wrenn's Resolve again, right? If we find mana. Mana, that does work. And then, because now we'll have Urabrask next turn, or it's just End the Festivity, right? Right, and then we're just taking the up to 7 with the, yeah, 7 poison with the Annex Sentry. Lightning Strike does take care of it, but like, yeah, we're in big trouble, man. So Wrenn's Resolve, we're in big trouble. Uphill battle. Having trouble like actually establishing anything and getting set up. The Seat of the Empire, we can't play over there. They dropped the GGs again. So those are just going to act as land. We do have removal for the turn. They have Mirex. Okay. Skrelv's Hive gives them another one. Uphill battle, dude. We already dropped 2 of our End the Festivities, too. And that's all of them. Opponent's funny. All right. Heartflame Slash. Going up to 9. Let's see that proliferate from hand. It is proliferate. It was, in fact, a good game, opponent. Oh, man. Yeah, uphill battle. Went pretty fast. Toxic still looking great, dude. Was there a more optimal line of play? Like, they were really spamming out those tokens quite nicely. They do have Seed Core open for extra damage, too. There might have been a more optimal line of play somewhere. Maybe I shouldn't have risked the turn of Mechanized Warfare. Maybe just, like, holding that back, going for burn on that turn, too. Maybe that would have kept us in for an extra turn. Maybe. About 30 minutes in, guys. Oh, we got time for a couple more. Let's do this. So far, it's about what you'd expect overall. I feel like some of the hits with the burn spells are like a little awkward. It's like, oh well, you know, we used our lightning strike last turn, and now our play with fire doesn't hit the creature that they just played, or you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. Also, like the Mechanized Warfare there was huge for us because I figure if they were going to spam out some more Rot Priests, now our End the Festivities are really good. But any amount of board wipes up against the Hive doesn't really matter as they just continue to generate more and more from the Hive as well, so. Okay, start with that Bivouac. Going first here is pretty good. Alright, I keep the burn open and we're going to actually opt for the adventure side of the duelist here. How about a scry? See what's on top. Quintorius. Two of them could be really good, but we don't have enough mana for it yet. I'm going to send it because I'm going to scry again. Let's do this. No counterspell from the opponent. Another duelist. I'll keep it. I'll keep that. It's fine. Now we have our burn open on the duelist. It is instant speed, in fact. Okay, more land off the top would be decent. Malcolm. Nice. Do I want to take out the Malcolm while they're tapped out? Probably. I wouldn't mind hitting the opponent's face with this either. But, like, at least our Heartflame Duelist #1 isn't eating a counterspell. And Malcolm's a pretty good card. Pretty good filter. Gix. Okay. Well, again, same concept. While they're tapped out here, I think we are just going to go ahead. Heartflame Duelist #2. Not seeing land there is pretty bad. Like, we won't have the play with fire open now, for example. That doesn't hit anything. Nice. But now they know our hand, so. Come on, land off the top. We got to get closer to that Quintorius. Are they going to field a ruin our Restless Bivouac? That's not good, guys. That thins our deck, actually. And we also don't have a plains in here, too, so hopefully they don't do that again to our Battlefield Forge. Also, scry. Let's go. Let's do this. Virtue of Courage. I should send it, right? Because we're looking for land. I think so. Land. Let's go. Now we don't have double white to play the duelists, though. A little upset about that. That's something to consider. We are running into a lot more Field of Ruin, dude. So. Bro, we just got washed away. That's the first time I've ever seen that actually wash something away. Outside of the cleave cost, of course, right? Dude. That really sucks, man. Okay, I'll hold the lightning strike back for removal. Play with fire. Let wash away #2 here. Here goes nothing. It's gonna be like a full-blown counterspell, maybe. It's gonna be wash away #2. Guys. That's it. It's the anti-deck list of this deck. That's what we've confirmed, right? This is gonna be an uphill battle, dude. This is gonna be a rough time. That was a lot of value. 1 mana counter our creature 2 turns in a row. Field of Ruin. No, guys, we gotta consider a planes. We got to, for sure. All right, let's scry. Because they can get rid of our Battlefield Forge, but we can't grab a planes from the deck. End the Festivities, I'm sending it. We don't need it right now against this build. Virtue of Courage. Yep. Yeah, it's not great. And we're about to only have red sources on this board. No, they decide to not go for the Field of Ruin this time. Am I missing something here? I kind of don't want to mouse over it. Non-basic landed opponent controls. Okay. So yeah, no, they could totally get rid of the Forge. Maybe, I mean, that's true. The opponent doesn't know that I don't have planes in the build. So to them, they're like, oh yeah, we'll keep this for the Restless Bivouac, right? So yeah, that makes sense. The opponent doesn't know. I'm afraid to try anything, honestly. But at least we get around to Make Disappear right now. We could still go Lightning Strike to their face too. Do we want to? Sure, why not? We got the open mana. They didn't play any creatures. Land off the top. If they counter this, maybe we get the Quintorius down. There's a Make Disappear, so we were playing around it there. Okay, they still have 3 in hand. Urabrask, equally as good draw, I'd say. Bro. Their counter spells are really hitting the mark, man. Oh, buddy. Gix's Command. They go ahead and grab their creatures back. Oh, there it is. Okay. Get that Quintorius down, and it's like we got to anticipate it dying, right? So we just go right into the -4 right away. Wrenn's Resolve. Oh, no. Quintorius Kand. Let's go. Okay, so yeah, Restless Reef swings into the Kand. Had we gone +1 into a 3/2, the concept there is they go like cut down anything, power up Reef. Just 4, so they would have needed a mana for it too. But you guys get the concept, right? Like I was anticipating Quintorius Kand dying regardless because they have a nice stocked up hand. And the Restless Reef available too, so I figure. And now if they don't prioritize Quintorius, we go +1, drop the second Quintorius potentially, depending on how much they tap out here. And then maybe go +1 again. Having 2 creatures on the board would change the ball game a little bit. What you thinking, opponent? What you thinking, buddy? Those counter spells were wild, man. That's good stuff. We don't get to see too much wash away. I'll actually read it real quick while the opponent's thinking. We got, it's a 1 mana, 1 blue, instant speed, counter target spell that wasn't cast from its owner's hands. In other words, adventures, right? And there's other stuff too. Anything that like exiles, like our build does. And then you have the cleave cost here, which is just 1 and double blue, so like a normal counter spell amount, I would say, where you just counter target spell then. That's really neat, huh? Hey, Quintorius is alive and kicking, guys. What do I want to do then? Do I still drop the second Quintorius? What if it gets hit by a Make Disappear? Then we're really sad about it. Well, we know the +1's happening. If we don't play one of these, then the Quintorius's -3 was a waste next turn. But it's from exile, so what if Wash Away number 3 happens, and then we don't have Crucible open for defending? Either way, this is more burn to the opponent's face as well. No. Because a Make Disappear won't hit this because we have 2 open. If it's... Okay, I was going to say, if it's actually Wash Away number 3... then we're in some serious danger, guys. But no, and we keep Crucible. Hopefully they don't just like... Well, Liliana would probably be -2, right? So... Crucible's excellent. We've been dealing a lot of damage to the opponent's face, guys. They are at 6, even though it looks like... Malcolm swing in the air. That takes care of the Quintorius that way. That makes sense. That makes sense, opponent. And then they get a free draw off of the Kaito. And they can keep like everything open to make sure the 3/2 doesn't get through as well. Shieldred, no, the life gain's gonna be so bad, guys. We need to rip fire off the top, like right here, right now. Ooh, that's a bit of fire, actually. That is a bit of fire. We're back up to 8. Virtue isn't bad. It's the same concept, though. Oh, well. How many turns do we have before they just gain way too much? They're gonna draw up to 10, draw off a Kaito, up to 12. If I go burn, right, if I swing, see if they block. I'm thinking, opponent. Because if we set up with Virtue, we might be able to see enough burn off the top to win that way. Right? Let's see if they block. I think taking Shieldred out of this equation would be really good. And then we'll play the Heartflame Duelist on the other side. Or they might just take the 3 here. Or it would be 4 because of Warfare. Guys, that is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got there, guys. They took it. They didn't want to risk their Shieldred. That was sick, dude. Oh my goodness. A great match to end on. What do you guys think? 41 minutes in. Let's go over this list again, dude. That was sick. We had some good matches there. Overall, it drew pretty well. Let's double check to see how much land we have in here, too. All right. Yeah, like I said, multiple suggestions, guys. So thank you so much for the suggestions. They were all essentially like Quintorius, Burn, and stuff like that. Land. 26. We do have 26 in here. Wow. I'm actually surprised. The past version of myself put 26 land in here. Well, one of them has to be a plains. That's what we learned today as I was sweating. I mean, does it have to be? No, but we are seeing a lot more Field of Ruin. And it's because these builds are sweating from the Restless Field of... I gotta... Wait a minute. Field of Ruin. There we go. I guess a lot of things have Field of in the description. Anyways, Field of Ruin. We're seeing a lot more of this, man. Because we saw a huge uptick in the amount of Restless lands. As for like the last couple months, I've been saying how much the Restless lands have just been going the extra mile above and beyond. Because those control lists are sweating from them, dude. Like anytime you have creature lands, they just wipe the board and you're just like, well, I guess I'll just power up my Bivouac and win next turn. We're seeing a huge uptick in the amount of these. What that means is every now and then, you're going to lose all of your white sources in here and not be able to grab a plains from the build. So that is pretty scary. But like, do we need it? No, I guess not, because we still have half of the land in the build is a white source, and we're seriously, we're just splashing. So like, if splashing for Heartflame Duelist, splashing for Kand. So if we end up adding a plains too, and like we drop a mountain or something, then there's gonna be moments, it's gonna be rare, but you're gonna see like 2 plains, or your Seat of the Empire into plains, right? And then like 1 red source, and you're just like, the whole time you're just like, well, crap, I can't do anything now because you need double red and Urabrask. I guess you would find your red source by Urabrask, so I'm wrong there. So what would it hold us back from? Mechanized Warfare, right? I guess so. I guess it depends if you go up 1 or 2 planes. Not going to hold you up that often, though, so it's up to you. I think if you want that extra planes in here to play around Field of Ruin potentially, then I think that would be fine. Outside of that, I think I'm personally going to keep the mana base the same. I also like how clean it looks too. But I could also see dropping down to 25, but I'll tell you what, it didn't really feel like 26, so maybe 26 was right on the money, huh? Because yeah, a lot of 4 drops, a lot of 5s. Everything's relatively expensive if we move Heartflame to the 3 mana spot too. Like you can see that curve, how it changes. But this was fun, dude. This was a lot of fun. What would you guys add or take out? Do you guys think the Mechanized Warfare was worth it today? I mean, we wouldn't have won that last game if it wasn't for the Warfare. So that's noteworthy, right? Was all 4 Wrenn's Resolve worth it? Probably. I think so. I don't think I'd drop down to 3. But if I did drop down to 3, maybe I'd go up to 3rd, End the Festivities, depending on what else we ended up seeing. Right? Because End the Festivities is going to be pretty good against a lot of different builds, but mostly, unfortunately, I think the time that it actually gets a little better is only when Warfare is on the board, because there's going to be a lot of moments where you wipe mono red, but they still have their Swift Spear and they still have their Godric, and you know what I mean? So same thing with soldiers, right? There's not too many things with 1 toughness, so and the Festivities power level comes from cards like Mechanized Warfare too, and Ojer doesn't do that extra damage to the creatures, only to the opponent's face. Would be an extra 4, just like that extra poke through and everything too. Maybe we actually just want to look at a different board wipe, but remember, you are wiping your own board with different board wipes too, where End the Festivities specifically says the opponent stuff. Other board wipes are going to hit like your own Heartflame Duelist and stuff too, so all of that is very much noteworthy. Guys, hey, we got that Discord link down in the description, as well as that Patreon link down in the description too, if you're interested in supporting the channel that way. And of course, that Discord is a great place to drop suggestions or just chat with the community as well against what builds you're working on, or the meta, or, you know, complain about the meta. No, I'm just teasing. The Discord is absolutely lovely. It's a great place, guys. You guys keep me so happy seeing you chat over there and whatnot. So anyways, hey, enough rambling. If you made it this far into the video, for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.